Hey guys, so welcome back. So just on that topic of like properties and stuff. So I just wanted to share just like quick information, just that you need to know and that you need to be aware of. So at the time when I wanted to get the property, I actually just wanted to get something that's gonna replace that's gonna be equivalent to the amount of rent that I was paying. So just say for example, if you're paying rent of let's just say 8,000 rand. So you need to factor it in such a way. So I worked backwards. So obviously I considered the fact that I will have to pay rates, and are just monthly rates are like just between 2.5 and 3.5. So I think I use like 3,000 as just like, so 3,000. So now I'm left with like 5,000. So I had to look for a home loan that the apartment that I will buy will be equal to paying 5,000 every single month. So I don't know if it's making sense to you guys, but so I worked backwards in that sense. So I started looking for homes that would require me to make a payment to the bank monthly of 5,000 rand, because I knew from this normal 8,000 that I'd be paying for rent, now I'm going to be paying 3,000 towards rate. So now the balance, now I can afford to pay, because I didn't want to overcommit myself, even though the bank was just like, oh, we can actually offer you more, blah blah blah. I was like, no. I was like, no, this is what I'm sticking to, because I didn't want my life to change drastically, like financially, so everything would sort of remain the same. So that's how I did it. And then I used Property 24 and Private Property. So on those sites, they actually allow you to calculate like how much you would pay monthly. It's a rough like estimate, but it gives you like an idea. So they'll tell you that the house is like 2 million rand, and then you have to pay like this and like this. And another thing that also helped me, because I had a deposit to pay for it, because I was saving towards buying a car cash. So I decided to use that money now to get like a house. So I put that as a deposit. So I also worked that out in my calculations. So that's what allowed me to also be able to buy like a little bit more expensive place, even though, yeah. So that's what I did. So just firstly, obviously look at your finances, budget, see what you can afford, and don't overcommit yourself. Then secondly, go on those sites just to check, according to your price range. I think as you do like one or two properties, you'll see roughly how much like the properties you should be looking at should cost. Because the first one, most available, okay, if you put 2 million, you have to pay 20,000 per month. You can see, okay, I can't pay 20,000. You go lower, you know what I mean? So you do that and you check that. So when it comes to actually buying the property itself, so it's either you buy a property that's still being developed, so you don't have like transfer costs and all of those things. But I had like my one. So you have your transfer and duty costs, which cost like about 40,000 rand. Mine were about 40,000 rand, but it can be 50,000 rand up to like 100,000 rand. So that's also something to consider and factor when you're buying like your first property. So consider the transfer costs, how much everything would cost. Some banks don't cover them, but I think if you're banking with the bank, they could possibly cover them with the loan. So it's just things to be aware of and just to check. So it would be just your transfer duties. So that's what you would need lawyers for that, so you just contact lawyers and all of those things. And then from there, obviously, you just look up the place online, and then you do your viewings and all of those things. Then you contact your lawyers. Then you do like an offer to purchase, which is just basically saying that it's like almost like a contract between you and the owner of the place, that they will be selling it to you. So it's good to read through that and to know what you're signing. And also you can also just check with your lawyer to be like, is this okay, is it missing anything, the person who's helping you with the transfer duties, because that's what I did. Because I read it, I was like, okay, not a train smash, but I don't know everything about property, so what if there is something that's not there? So they checked it and they were like, it's okay. Also the bank, I don't know about other banks, but I the home loan, the bank that I used, they actually did like a property valuation. So they went to value the property and see if the person is not overpricing you and all of those things. And also when you do have the price, I mean, it's open. It's usually like open for discussion or open for negotiation. So ungazincisha good time. Don't just be like, okay, you'll just pay it as it is. You can discuss with the person who's selling to say, okay, this is how much I can afford. Are you able to accept this price? That type of thing. Yeah, and then so then you have your transfer costs and all of those things, and then they process it, and then you have the property. The whole process, if the property is being like transferred from somebody else to you, takes about 2 to 3 months. So just also be mindful of that fact, that you will wait out that whole process, for that period, and all of those things. So yeah. And then what else? So then once you do have it on a month to month, you have to pay your rates, which are, if it's within one complex, but also if it's a standalone, I think it's like a little bit different. The rates are like different. But also I would advise, if you're getting a standalone, it better be like in a gated community or somewhere really, really secure. But yeah, so if you're buying within a complex, then you have to pay, the levies and all of those things monthly to the estate, for them to, take care of the place and all of those things. And those are roughly like 2.5 to even 3.5 now, and they increase like yearly. So it's something to factor as well when you're buying your property. I don't know, in my mind, I felt like, when I pay off like the home loan, then I'll be fine. But actually, you're not. You're gonna pay those rates every single month for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So it's just something to factor and consider. I mean, obviously, in the long term, once you've paid off your place, you can afford to pay those rates, and obviously, you can rent the place out, all of those things. So you have all of those options. So yeah, and then that's just basically like the process. But things that you have to pay on a monthly basis is your rates. And then now what I found out later on, months later, is that you do have to pay to City of Johannesburg. So I actually realized that I did register at City of Johannesburg. Well, if you're buying in Joburg, if you're buying in Durban or anywhere else, then you will be registered with your municipality and all of those things, and you pay that like monthly. That's about like 500 rand. So I think just roughly to budget, rounding off like the highest possible, your rates and what you pay City of Johannesburg and all of those things should be about like 4,000 rand and all of those things. So yeah, every month. So just things to be mindful of. What else am I forgetting? You guys can just ask in the comment section. I'm happy to share if there's something that you would really, really like to know that I probably like didn't cover. So yeah. And for the loans and all of those things, you just contact the different banks and you try to get like the best rate or whatever. But I think the bank that you're banking with usually is able to, offer you something good or better, whatever the case is. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. And yeah, so far, let me see, any bad things. I personally haven't experienced anything hectic, the property or anything. It's just obviously you have to deal with the different complexes or wherever it is that you're staying, however they manage the place and all of those things, and those follow-ups and blah 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 and all of those things. Yeah, I hope it was helpful, guys. Drop a comment, tell me if you'd like to know anything else, if you'd like to know more. Yeah, let's chat. Have a great day. Bye.